Sports Video Group's Jason Dachman. We're at the SVG Summit in New York City, and I'm with longtime friend of SVG, Jason Cohen of CBS Sports. Jason, thanks for taking some time today.
Thank you for having me. First time you've had two Jasons on this segment?
I think we're going to really get confused about identities here. It's going to be an issue. So,
all right.
You, in your first year at CBS Sports, there's been no rest for the wicked. You've had all kinds of stuff going on. PGA Championship was a real highlight from a techie perspective. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the cool stuff you did there and anything else you were excited about in 2018.
Yeah, I mean, look, I made a joke on the panel discussion that the PGA Championship was like an SVG Summit of technology on a remote side. We basically tried every technology that we could find to come to the same place at the same time to be used in a different application. You know, and I think the challenge that we're facing next, in my opinion, is to take these technologies and figure out how could you actually combine them now.
Right.
You know, like how can you begin to converge the different technologies to tell stories by using them at the same time, opposed to, okay, well, this hole we're going to use that technology, and then this hole we're going to use that technology, but find a way to kind of merge these together, because quite honestly, the other challenge is that there's only so much airtime we have.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, trying to squeeze them all in, you know, at a certain point, the producers are like, guys,
too many toys.
We only have so much time. We still have to roll commercials. But it was fun. PGA was certainly a good opportunity to look at everything from 4D on a golf course. We're able to swing around the golfer. We had RoverCam, traveling with the golfers. We had cup mics, little microphones in the cups. We had Hawkeye there looking at the undulation of the greens. We had a lot of fun toys, and I think ultimately it was a really good show.
Sure, yeah, but it's about ingratiating that within the telecast, right? And not having it be a one-off, not having it be eye candy, and really making it part of the overall show.
It's what I've talked about, right? It's the difference between, inventing, creating, and implementing technologies for the sake of trying to win the Emmy,
right,
versus trying to enhance the telecast at home. And it's quite honestly the greatest challenge we have, is do you do it simply because it's cool and it's fun and it's geeky, or is it really, is a return on investment, because you're going to spend time and you're going to spend money, and is that return more than just it's fun, but it enhances the shows or it tells a story?
Right. So there were a lot of toys there, but there's a lot of toys on the horizon too that haven't even really made their debut. What are a couple of things that you're excited about from a tech perspective and a production tool perspective that you think maybe are going to blow up in the next 12 to 24 months?
Well, look, I think it's an interesting time, right? And I know every year is an interesting time. But, from a bandwidth perspective, on just personal bandwidth, forget like actual bandwidth, we have this initiative where we want to find the coolest and latest toys and cameras and supermos and whatever, but there's all these advancements with VR, with augmented reality, with mixed reality, with at home, with artificial intelligence, with one of my hot topics, biometrics. Like, there's all these different categories, right? And it's where you focus on, because, we all want to play with AI. We all want to play with VR. We all want to play with what we're going to see in 2019, whether it's 8K,
right,
in addition to the 4K and HDR and 1080p. And so I think the greatest challenge with the tech perspective is, how do you try and advance, not just try, but advance everything at the same time? Because there's only so many hours in the day, there's only so many platforms you can try stuff on.
So if you had to pick one of those, you're talking about bandwidth, right? What would be one that you say, okay, this is something that really is going to move the needle a little bit? I know you're a big biometrics.
I am big on biometrics. I think in 2019, I predict that we will have a panel discussion next year, this time, that has at least 2 or 3 members, just like we're doing today with artificial intelligence, where we've got a couple people speaking about that. There'll be a couple people speaking about next year biometrics on pro athletes.
Cool.
We captured their heart rate, we captured their pulse, we inferred how much energy is being spent, dehydration, in addition to things like speed and force. And I'm confident 12 months from now, that's the topic this year.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for that, and we'll see if you're right or wrong 12 months from now. Speaking of 2019, you got a tiny little event coming up in Q1 called the Super Bowl. Are you excited for that? Maybe a little bit of a tease on what we can expect, and it's going to be a busy year after that. It's not like it just ends there. You go right into everything.
Right. They didn't tell me when I signed up at CBS that we would have like an AFC Championship game, a Super Bowl, Pebble, March Madness, yeah, Masters, then a PGA Championship in May of next year.
Right.
Super Bowl. Yeah, listen, I just did a presentation. We have, I think, 115 cameras to cover the game. I think, and I can't give it away yet, mainly because A, I'm not allowed, and B, because I believe in karma. I think you're going to see 2 technologies in Atlanta that haven't been done before on the remote side that we're really excited about, and if they come to fruition and if they work, I think you'll start to see all of the other main sports big stage events say, yeah, us too.
Here we go. Yeah, that'll be the domino effect.
I hope.
Well, we're excited.
How's that for a tease?
I like it. Yeah, well, SVG will be all over it. We'll be on site. We'll be meeting with you. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure,
really
as always.
Appreciate it. Stay tuned to sportsvideo.org for more reports from the SVG Summit in New York City.